the Hartsville Red Foxes have done it again. 65-62 winners in overtime over Eastside. Hartsville is the boys' 3A state basketball champion for a second straight year.
Unbelievable, man. I tell y'all, we dreamed of this, and it finally came true. So I just thank God, man. You know, it feels great, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be with these guys, and the team, the coach Sam, and everybody at Hartsville.
Welcome back one more time to the Hartsville Hoops radio show podcast, coming at you straight from the den here in Hartsville. We're back once again with your hosts, Trae, Hannibal, AJ, Cuffie, and Nathan Barr. We're blessed to have a guest with us for what we're going to be doing each week. We're going to be bringing you former players from Hartsville or former players of mine. And those who don't know, this is Coach English, head coach at Hartsville High School. And we have one of my former players from Denmarkola High School. And he now is a starting junior forward at South Carolina State University. We're going to have a brief interview with him. So how's it going, Ozante?
It's going pretty good, man. Going pretty good.
You sound like you chilling, man. You just got out of class or something?
I just came from the training room getting treatment on my body.
Is that a big thing that you need to do in college?
Oh yeah, that's a major thing. You gotta take care of your body, man. Your body needs the money. If you can't go, then you're really good for nothing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start this off with this, and a lot of some things student athletes don't know. I'm gonna ask you maybe one question, and then I'm gonna let the boys go ahead and ask you a question because this is really their show. You know, they are Hartsville Hoops. So the question I got for you is, what didn't you know in high school that you needed to know that you found out about?
I didn't know the amount of time that I needed to put into this game, because if you don't truly love this game, time will tell on you whether you do love it or not, because it's gonna be so many sacrifices you have to make, whether it's being away from your family or on holidays, or just being able to want to do something that you just can't do because you got a job in front of you that got to get done regardless. So I'll probably have to say the time and sacrifices put into it.
Now, my last question, and then I'm going to throw it to the boys. Like, was there anything I told you was going to happen, and you was like, nah, coach, man, it ain't going to be like that? And it was like that?
Yeah, everything was kind of like that. When you told me about the early morning practice before class, I was like, man, ain't nobody be doing that in college, man, because you just talking. And lo and behold, you got to be on the court at 5 o'clock in the morning, dressed in tape, ready to go.
And that's dressed in tape, ready to go.
So everything you told me, it was true.
So that's dressed in tape. So that means you really got to be there about 4:30 because you got to get dressed, got to get tape, and be ready to go at 5. Yeah,
4:40. You got to be there 4:45 at the latest.
Man, so Coach E was right. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he was right. So
for all my players in here and out there, Coach E was right. So anyway, I'm gonna move on. Trae, you have any questions?
Yeah.
Trae, you have any questions for Ozante?
Ozante, what was the biggest thing that you had to work on, like transitioning from high school to college, like body wise and like conditioning, like everything? Like, how was the transition?
The transition for me, I had to for the position I played on the D1 level, I had to get like more weight on me because I ain't like being tossed around. We played those big D1s, so I had to like change the way I was eating. You know, I had to lift. I was lifting 4 times a week. I went to lifting 5 every day I could, twice a day, until I like got the frame I wanted to get. And conditioning wise, man, you just gotta. You would do enough conditioning in practice, but if you want to be great, it's go be them times when you got to go outside of practice on your own and go to the track get you a mile or two in, just so you can separate yourself from the next guy.
Facts.
And Nate, what you got?
All right, Ozante. So like when you had like schoolwork after school, and you had practice after school, like how did you manage the time and do practice and have enough rest for the next day, do the same thing over again?
Well, all right, so we practice in the morning. And usually, me, like now my schedule is I practice from like 5 to 8. Around 8:30, I go to the cab, get something to eat. And my first class usually isn't until like 11, and I'm done by 3. But we got study hall, of course. So we be in study hall 3 to 5. So I try to get the majority of my work done then. Or whatever I don't finish in study hall, I'll bring back to the room to do that night. But somewhere between that time, I got to fit in, going to the training room, getting my body back right so I'll be able to go the next morning and practice. So it's all about, how you manage your time. You really got to plan your whole day out before it get going.
Yeah. So now we're gonna throw it to AJ. AJ, what question do you have for Ozante while we got him on the line?
What's the meal plan like in college, and what's the most important thing for a freshman coming in?
The most important thing for a freshman coming in, you gotta stay focused, because it's some things you might not be used to seeing. You ain't at home anymore, so you can do whatever you want. You ain't got mommy and daddy telling you, don't do this or don't do that. You gotta keep your eyes on the goal at hand for whatever you're there for. If you're there for ball, for basketball and schoolwork, you can't let your social life override, your job, your business.
Sure.
So, what about nutrition, Ozante? I'm pretty sure they got you guys on a meal plan of some sort. How's that?
Oh yeah, we gotta eat at least 3 times a day. That's the minimum. And usually before we work out in the weight room, we drink our pre-workout shake. Then after we finish lifting and running, you go get your post-workout shake, your muscle milk, your Nutri-Grain bars. And it's a lot, Nutrition is definitely like one of the major keys to, getting yourself going, because whatever you put in your body, it's going to come out,
Nate, you got something? No? All right, now you grab the mic like, yo, I got a question. Now I got a question for you, Ozante. You were South Carolina 1A Player of the Year, All-State. You had a lot of accolades coming out of high school. I mean, you were an honor student. I remember you had 0 offers, and this is for those kids that get late offers. Ozante got South Carolina State offer the last week of our season. He had he ended up with, he had 0 offers with 2 weeks to go. And he actually was like, man, coach, I think I'm gonna go play football. And I was like, just give it some time. And next thing you know, his stats from his senior year was he was averaging, what it was, Zante, 30 and 20. He was averaging 30 and 20 his senior year. And we put it on Max Prep. We made sure we kept up with his stats. And so we got some phone calls. I was getting my phone. Hey, coach, these stats right? I said, yeah, they legit. So people started coming. That last 2 weeks, people came to the gym and they were like, yo, we want him. And so like he was getting offered. He was getting offers right after the game. Like they'd be like, coach, can we talk to him? Yeah. And he'd come out in the hallway and one by one, they would just be lined up to offer him. And he ended up with like 5 offers in like that first week, in like that second to last week. And then it was that last week he ended up with 3 offers. And then the last offer he got was South Carolina State. So like what advice do you have for kids that just don't have the offers yet and they really don't see it happening? Because like, to be honest, AC, coaching you, like you never gave up. So what is it? What would you tell those kids that don't have offers yet?
You gotta trust the process. Every day ain't gonna be sunshine. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go through the struggle so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like every day, you just gotta be consistent in what you're doing. Have faith. You know, stay in the gym, stay working, and you just gotta trust the process. Gotta trust the process.
And one more thing, I'm gonna tell the listening audience a funny story. So I think it was Ozante. What was it? Your junior year going into your senior year?
What?
It was 4th of July, and
Oh God.
it was 4th of July, and this is a real story, and it just shows you like we can make mistakes, we can come back from them or whatever. And definitely one of the main things was don't do nothing around Coach E. That's one of the major lessons. But I went, and I'm very team oriented. There's one thing my players know about me, and those who don't know. I love my players, and we worked the fireworks stand, and I had a bunch of leftover fireworks, and I came to go hang out with them to shoot some fireworks. I pull up, and I guess Ozante had just took a nice little tote of something good, and he tried to hold it. He tried to hold it in his mouth, and he just like a little bit of smoke, and he tried to turn his back, and it came out. So I was disappointed because I didn't think that you did that. So I went home, thought about it, and then I called his mama and told her. So the next day he was at a program at the high school. His grandma came, took his car keys. Ozante and the entire team cursed my name. They was on Snapchat saying they was going to get me, and Ozante was about to he was going to transfer to Bamberg. And I'm out of here and all this and that, and he came back, and it was just hilarious to see like that, and I think a lot of people don't understand. Like as a team, you're gonna fight with your coach. You're gonna have ins and outs with your teammates. But at the end of the day, he returned, and we ended up going 22-5. And I mean, the first time Denmark had ever been ranked number 1 in the state, and people feared us, and Ozante ended up getting a scholarship, and who knows what would have happened had he left, but he stuck with it and believed in me and believed in his team. But it was a funny little time, man. I couldn't tell you how many times my phone rang.
Yeah. It was funny.
Yeah, it's funny now. It wasn't funny to you then, though. Like, you was mad. You was big mad. But we're going to go ahead and let you go. We know you got a busy schedule, and then we're going to continue on with the show. But one more question for you, man. What advice do you have for the younger generation of ball players coming up there, and younger student athletes, just of any sport? If there was one thing that you wish someone would have told you in high school, what would that one thing be?
Be humble more than anything, because just as quick as God gave it all to you, He could take it away. Like don't ever just think you at the top, because just as long as it took you to get to the top, you could be at the bottom overnight. And your grades, make sure you just build a foundation from the jump with your grades, because that play a huge part. Like, I done seen players come in here that can go for 30 every night, but it's just, they couldn't qualify. They grade. So that's definitely what I would tell the younger generation. And do something that you can separate. Like, there's thousands of players, hundreds of thousands of players out there. You got to do something that'll make you got to do something that'll make you stand out from the next man. Because everybody out here trying to eat. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Facts.
Well, you got these boys in here nodding their head talking about facts. Man, we appreciate your time, man. Good luck on the season. And I love you, boy. I'll holler at you later. I'll probably see you this weekend, though.
All right,
bro. All right, that was Ozante Fields, junior forward at South Carolina State. Had a monster game last year against Syracuse. Like I said, he was an honor student in high school, and he worked his butt off. He was a 6'6" forward, and he worked his butt off. He came from maybe 2 points and 5 rebounds a game to 30 and 20 by his senior year, as well as he kept up a 3.7, 3.8 GPA and an honor student. So He actually was in a program that if he graduated and did not choose basketball, he would have went to Clemson on a full academic scholarship. So he did everything he was supposed to do in the classroom and on the floor. So I wanted that to be our first interview. And we got a lot of guys from Hartsville that have that same story to tell. And hopefully, next week we'll have one of those guys on. Right now, we're going to go ahead and get into our topics for today. Our first topic for the students that the players are going to handle is the importance of academics. What does academics play? What position does academics play, or what's the importance of academics to you, Nate?
To me, academics is a major part in, like, if you want to go play college ball or even play in high school, like, you got to make it to college, and the main way you make it to college is academics. And a lot of people have good talent or whatever, and they just can't go to college because their grades or whatever. So, like, to me, academics is, like, the most important part.
What about you, AJ?
Academics is a key part of getting where you want to be. Like, if you don't have the grades, you can't get in a good college. And a lot of athletes struggle nowadays because, like, they don't have the grades, but they're good on the court or on the field or something like that.
The academics is the main part. I mean, you're a student athlete, you're a student first. So, I mean, with academics, there's no college, so that just tells all you need to know right there. So, student first.
Well, Trae, you banged out a 28 on your first goal on the ACT. How big of a role do you think that played in South Carolina offering you so quickly?
Everything, because talking with my future teammate that's there, Keyshawn, he was just like, to be honest, that they look at ACT scores more than they do GPA sometimes. So, I mean, that backing my GPA up, I mean, that's big time for me. It's a blessing. So, I mean, that just helped me out a lot.
Nate, you're a really good student. I had the pleasure of teaching you last year. You work very hard. You work just as hard on the court as you do in the classroom. Like, so what is it that makes you work like that hard at the classroom? Because that is something that's, I think classrooms, in the classroom, to be a good student, that's something that you really got to work. You got to work harder at being a good student than you do at being a good athlete. So what is it that makes you go so hard in the classroom?
So when I be sitting in class and I just want to, like, go to sleep sometimes, but I just look at it like, if I want to play ball or go to a good college, I got to do good in school, and then that's what really makes me focus more on things. And I know, like, starting off, this year we starting off pretty good. We're getting into the school more, and I've been sitting back a little bit, but now I gotta, like, really focus because, like, I know junior year is the main important year, and I'll be taking ACT in spring, so I gotta get myself together and get on the right track.
AJ, you started off high school kind of slow, and you've picked it up late. What made that change? What made that change happen for you?
When I noticed that I started getting better and I felt like I could play at the college level, I started, like, taking my grades serious and just working hard, like, studying more and staying out of school and, like, for extra work so I can get my grades up higher. Because my GPA was low, but I'm getting it up, like, now since I've been working hard in the classroom.
Trae, what is it that you would say to a student athlete that is, especially, like, on campus, a lot of times you see a lot of freshmen playing around in the classroom or not exactly taking the academics extremely serious. What made you take it serious from the jump? Like, what is it that made you walk on campus and say, "Yo, I gotta get it," so that they can get it?
Cause my uncle, I'll start off like this. My uncle told me my ninth grade year that my ninth grade year and my 11th grade year were gonna be my important years. And my ninth grade year, I took it lightly and I took it as a joke from time to time. I didn't take it serious as I should. And my ninth grade year was my important year because that's really why my GPA was low at the beginning, but now it's back up how I wanted to be. And that taught me a lot. Like, I wanted to go to college on a free scholarship, so I had to earn it somehow, some way. And I knew sports wasn't going to be the only reason why I would get it. So, I mean, I had to be a student first because, I mean, as a student athlete, you got to get your grades in order to go to college. So my advice to anybody else would just be to take it serious. I mean, just don't take things for granted because you never know when you can lose something and you never know what can happen. So,
yeah, that's a very major point, man. You don't know when the basketball can stop bouncing, and you always want to make sure that you're in a position to move on forward. So the next thing that we're going to talk about here is time management. Now, y'all know during the season, coach gets crazy. We have 6 o'clock in the morning practice, and since we got weight room and study hall, and then we got practice and games, and so it's real tough to stay on top of your academics. So time management is important. Let's start with you, Trae. What are your thoughts on time management? How about balancing your academics and your athletics?
You got to get them 2 hours in, regardless, because the academics, you get behind, it's hard to catch back up. And being an athlete, you got to take the time out, like to work on your craft outside of practice and when you're with your coach. And especially if you're trying to be the best at what you do, like you got to work hard at it 24/7. Like it's got to be a daily routine. So, I mean, time management that plays a huge role because you got to get your academics in as well. So,
well, how do you manage your time? Like, what is a day for Trae? Like during the regular season, that and say coach says, "Hey, we got 6 a.m. practice." What would be, which y'all know is coming soon, but what is a day for Trae if we got 6 o'clock when we have 6 o'clock practice?
It's simple. It's either I have early dismissal. So, but on the past couple of years, game day, 6 o'clock practice has been do my homework as soon as I get home or do it in class while I can. But if not, knowing me, I probably do it that next morning in advisory or my first period and get it out of the way. Especially with a 6 o'clock practice because you need all the rest you can get.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. AJ, what are your thoughts on time management? How do you balance your academics and athletics?
Oh, it's hard. Like, I ain't gonna flip. I just try to go ahead and do my homework early so I get a little bit of rest so I can wake up and go hard in the morning on every workout we do. But I just study. I study a lot sometimes, but sometimes I be trying to get my rest so I can be ready in the morning. I ain't gonna play.
Well, very rarely do I have a student that, and this next question is gonna be for Nate. Very rarely do I have a student who never misses an assignment. I'm talking about never missed an assignment. And Nate turned in every assignment. Nate and Justin Abraham turned in every single. Shouts out to Justin Abraham, had a monster game the other night. Shouts out to the Red Fox football team, man. Congratulations on the win, the first region win over this season and taking out Marlboro County. And good luck this week at the homecoming game. But so shouts out to Justin and Big Cuddy and Nate. You never missed an assignment and. But you come into practice and you would go as hard as crap. So I know you had to leave practice tired. Like, how was it for you? And how is it for you? Like, how do you manage that time?
Plus, he's fat. He's fat as well.
He eats too much?
Too much. He's fat.
Now, I will say this, Nate. When we was working at the fireworks stand, Nate go to Walmart every 10 seconds and come back with a big bag of gummy bears and everything up, and B10 and all that stuff.
I can see it going on.
But go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
But balancing these two is really hard, especially when you got a lot of work, because you would right after school you got workouts, and then really the main time you get time to do your work is if you have free time in class or right after practice. And I know sometimes I used to my freshman year, it was probably the hardest it's been ever. I would probably stay at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock doing work that I gotta do because I couldn't do it in study hall, or I couldn't do it. I didn't have free time because freshman year, you start off real busy and whatever, and having basketball really made a big difference. And I'd be up doing projects 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I still do it sometimes, but it's not as bad, I guess, since we move up the grades. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get back into that this year. So Ain't looking for it.
You're not looking forward to it?
Not really.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, we know it's coming. We know it's coming. One of the big issues, I think, for all students to understand is that you have to be able to have that balance between I got to put my time in the classroom and I got to put my time in on the court or on the field or on the cheerleading mat or whatever it is you do. You got to be the best at it. So, and anybody could pick up on this next one. How do you motivate yourself? How do you motivate yourself academically? Because it's easy to motivate yourself. It's easy to motivate yourself athletically, because everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to do what they like to do. If you play a sport, 9 times out of 10, it's something that you love to do. So, and we just heard Ozante say it earlier on in the podcast. He said, the one thing you got to know is you got to love this game to really play it at the next level. So the question is, how do you motivate yourself academically? Like, I think that's the one thing that a lot of kids don't know how to do. So what is it? Well, a lot of students don't know how to do. So anybody, how do you motivate yourself academically?
I just think about my mama, to be honest, because, like, she want me to go to college, like, because my brother and my sister didn't go, and she just want me to, like, get out of Hartsville because there's a lot of bad things down here. So I just, like, work hard in the classroom so I can get out of Hartsville and get somewhere where I want to be.
Shouts out to mama.
Tange.
Who else want to tackle that?
I got it. So every time, once and then, I'll get a bad grade. Like the other day, I failed my psychology test, and I was bummed. But at the same time, I was like, that was on me. I got to do better. So I really just look at it like, if you want to go to a good college or get good grades, that's what it is. You just got to have the good grades. And I think that's the main thing. And then I just be like thinking about things that just be on my mind. Like sometimes I do be thinking about my parents, and that just makes me motivate myself better.
To be honest, you just gotta think the same way you would think on the court. Like the same way you would like to chase down a block or like get a bucket or something like that. You got to do the same thing with your grades. Like you got to take it serious. So I mean, just don't take it for granted. You gotta do your role on and off the court. Student athlete.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap the show up, but want to give a couple of shout outs. We're gonna go around and let you give an opportunity to give some shout outs. Trae, we'll start with you and then we just go around the table.
As always, I thank God for everything, for my teammates, family, everything, because we blessed. We just gotta stay humble.
And for coach.
Yeah, basically my team. Man. Come on, family. Come on. Of course, my coach. Can't forget my coach, but Coach, he is a clown, man. But y'all already know how that goes, man. That's my guy. But all of us just blessed though. We're finna have a great season. Just we got a lot more work to do. And shouts out to coach for sticking with us, throughout the way. Assistant coaches as well. And it's gonna be a fun season. So appreciate y'all.
AJ, shout out.
I'm gonna shout out my boys DQ, Karan, and JT.
Facts.
For going to college and working hard and about to get buckets this year.
Facts.
Shout out to my parents for helping me and everything. And shout out to coaches and shout out to the teammates. And about AJ getting his dunk last week.
I want to give you guys did a great job once again, and I want to give a shout out to everybody in the district office for approving the show. They approved the show for us to put it out, so got to give a shout out there to RG Childress and
appreciate it.
Chris and Christopher down there, and definite shout out to Mr. Lewis, who's been a big supporter of the show, and Miss Zemp. Mr. Scaris gave us some good feedback. Miss Gedris gave us some good feedback. Of course, Mr. Nelson for his input because he does a great job with RFTV and keeping up the school YouTube site. So I want to make sure we give those shouts out. And then, of course, to my man, Leonard, Leonard always come through.
He too smooth.
Shout out to Mr. Sanders as well.
Oh yeah,
Baby J.
Baby J.
You stupid.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, tripping. My man, tripping. Who's out there? And if you have not gotten one, this show will be out in time. If you have not gotten one, go out and check out those homecoming tees. Those joints are hot. You need to go ahead and get you one before the game. As always, we want to thank God for the position that we're in. Thank God for the breath that we have. And we out of here. Peace.
Shh. You hear that? Listen closer. That, my friend, is the deafening sound of focus. It drowns out all the useless noise that can clutter the moment. Naysayers don't exist. Haters? Smaters? The peanut gallery? Who's that? When you in your zone, all that noise and all that buzz is just elevator music. So, enjoy your journey, focus on your goal, and bask in the quiet roar that is progress. Because when it's your time to shoot that shot, spit that verse, or close that deal, the only voice that matters is yours. Defy life.